Hi, this is Sherry Veronica, and I have Miss King on the show again. She has been crying out, and people have not been hearing her. You know why this to be in a wilderness? That's where she is at this point. She is in a wilderness, and she needs to be heard. So she is on the show with me again today. Patricia Benedict is on the show with me today with Miss King, and we are going to talk to her. We're going to go back into her childhood with her brother, and she's going to speak from that part of his life, and we're going to come all the way up to what has happened with her losing her home, and it is alleged that it was arson committed by her brother. Eurlanda, welcome into the studio. Patricia, welcome into the studio.
Thank you, Mr. Veronica, for having me. I will just listen and take notes.
Okay, Miss Kane, you can start. You can start by giving us the background of your brother when he was a child. I know you want to start there.
Yeah. Papa is when we were children. He always had this attitude of dominance, which it was going to continue to grow. I can remember his father is when he was a child, probably no more than about 2 years old, and he was in a crib with our cousin. And he's a person which he likes a lot of tea, he likes a lot of eating and what's not. And because he couldn't have her tea, he beat her up. When she went to the doctor was wondering if a dog had bite this child or if it was just a normal child like kid that bite her. The only part that she didn't have the bite was on her tongue. And I can remember as far as when we used to be playing, I remember one day we were eating passion fruit. Because we used to pick the passion fruit and put sugar inside of them and eat them. And I remember this day in particular, when he had finished eating his, because when they go out the season, they don't be that much. And I still had mine. He was so angry. I remember he hit me in my head with a cup and caused me to bleed from my head. And I remember also too that he was so angry that when I leave and we went back and it was me, my nephew, and he, because we were young at that age, he get newspaper and he was at the back of my mom's house where my spot is, where my house used to be. My mom had a house there in the same format as my spell. And he was like so angry that he lighted a fire.
So you saw it. You saw. Yeah. He had some issues from young.
Yeah.
Wow. And he never been to a psychiatrist. No one took him to see the doctor or anything.
No, my mother never even said anything about it. My mother covered it because as a mom, they always cover things for their children.
So he's never been on he's never been on medicine from a doctor or anything to keep his anger at.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
So that is when he was a child, and then now as a grown man, you have seen.
He was more about 7 or 8 in our region when that happened.
Right.
I remember at one time, my nephew always used to be playing with fire and burning this and burning that. And I can remember my mom burned my nephew's fingers with like paper and burned his finger with the paper and had all his fingers burned. Sometimes she would even turn and put his hand in hot water to let her understand not to play with fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he turned out to, you believe, burn your house down when was it? 2000 what?
2023. That was last year.
Last year.
Sherry, just one question, Sherry, please. As an adult, besides that alleged with your house, was there any other incidents as an adult?
Yes. I mean, he's always violent. He was very, very, very violent. I remember a couple of years before, there was a girl here from St. Vincent, and she was staying in his house. And with the abuse that he was giving her, I had to take her in at my house to live. And one evening, I leave home, and I left her there at the house. We was going to the cinema, and she called me in a frenzied fear of her life. He kicked off my front door, run through the house with a cutlass, and kick off my bedroom door, break up a vase, bust my door, and went in there. She had to jump through a window for her life. For her life. All of this, I have been to District E and at Fulton Court for him. It was a case going on with that already. It is all there in writing. He had to pay $200 for kicking in my door.
So
I gave him time.
has he ever spent any real time at the at Dodds?
No, he never get locked up or anything. Never yet.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. He's done all that. He's done all that and never have been locked up, never been incarcerated. Wow.
Then there was another time that Ben Spencer was keeping my mom, that I had to went to the electoral office and let them to understand that I was signing for my mom ID card, because you know she's at the age that she's going dementia, and she kept losing her ID cards and what's not. And the lady at the electoral office told me she's going to put it in my hands. I had to sign documents stating that if anything go wrong with my mother ID card or my mother pension, I will be held accountable for. And I can't remember exactly, but my take was February the 3rd, 2020 or 2022. And he rushed me the night. He ran past my boyfriend outside 15 car and ran inside to me with a long knife, telling me, pass the ID card, tell me deal with mom myself. But at that time he was intoxicated. You could see that he was intoxicated too at that given time. And in my fear, I turned, I give him that. I get up in the morning, I write a letter, and I went back to the electoral office and let the lady know that it is out of my possessions, that he has them now due to the fact that he put life on me. And I take the same paper at District E, and I give a statement on that also. No, I can't remember the officer. I think 2020 or 2022 in that region, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this was.
And since you have accused him of burning your house, he's still nothing has happened to him up to this day.
Nothing has happened up to this day.
Sherry, I just want to tell you, because I spoke to her for an hour yesterday, and she told me before that happened, I know she because we were talking about what led up to his sort of behavior, but before that happened, she said you went to the police station.
We went to the police. I went to the court. We was going to court, We was always going to court because nobody wanted to keep my mom, so I had to end up putting all my siblings in court to get the help to keep my mom. And not only that, he consistently threatened me. I mean, 2 weeks before the Sunday, when I went to my mom's house to look at her because she was over there, he turned to me, "You're going to leave from here. Stop coming here. Don't come here. You're going to get just really soon. Stop coming to you just now. You wait and see. Hold on." And 2 weeks after he burned my house, before that, I went to court. I went back to Fulton Magistrate Court, and I spoke to Wayne Clark. And he knows exactly what was going on, because he was charged $3,000 forthwith, because he was given a protection order not to threaten me, harass me, or have anything to do with me. Even though my house was burnt, the restraining order was still valid. And that was to this day, a year and 4 months, District E police cannot get him charged and held accountable for this act.
Sherry, do you want to tell me about what Magistrate Wayne Clark said in the court?
Yes, because trying to get my mom key, Wayne Clark had given him the rights there and then to take my mother out of my custody and give it to him, because when I tried to get her in a home, he come to my house threatening me. I can't even sleep in my house at night when I had to take my mom to the home, and he realized about 3 days after that my mom was at home, I couldn't sleep in my house. Because when he did call me and ask me for the battle where my mom was, I tried to tell him that she was at the homes, but he didn't realize that I had to get her placed in that institute through the government. So when it comes to his knowledge that she wasn't coming home, he turned to me by barrel. By next year he can hold my mother be there. If not, I could see some fun. So I had to take it on myself and went back for her again and bring her back home. If I couldn't sleep, I couldn't rest on nothing. So, and as far as I can recall, he was always bullying me. And my other siblings on the boy never even stepped in to say anything. If someone had just stepped in and said, well, right now, this is what's going to happen, or this is the best way things to happen, it wouldn't get this far.
Sherry, I wanted to tell you because I have documents on letters where she had interactions with Roy Morris. He's in the Prime Minister's office. Could you tell me, Sherry, about that, please?
So Roy Morris is no help whatsoever. I reached out to him on 3-4 occasions, trying to ask for assistance and some help, trying to see if I could get a conversation with the Prime Minister also. And he even lets me to understand that it ain't nothing that they could do right now. I should seek with the welfare. What's not, I seek with the welfare. And all the welfare really doing for me right now is giving me a grant of $171.40 every month, because that can't really do nothing much. Which it doesn't do nothing much for me. It's different to help buy stuff for my mom also. But Roy Morris never really helped me and to point me in a direction or to tell me where he could help me in getting a job, seeking a way on how to get back a house. Nothing. It was a total waste.
Wow.
Also, because the reason why I tell him, I would do, when she's finished speaking, I will say one thing before anything.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about your lawyer, that you have been trying to reach out to him and you have not been hearing him.
Yes, I have asked a lawyer to send some documentation to some relative government institutes because I have written them myself, and I only get a response from the ombudsman, which in that was nothing substantial either. But since then, and I reached out to the lawyer, I messaged, I called, he never answered, I WhatsApp, he never replied. I don't know, it got me feeling that, like when some person working in court against you is like the whole system against me, everybody against me, nobody ain't answering me, they're not listening.
So any more questions for her, Patricia?
Can she disclose who the lawyer is?
Yeah, of course. It's up to her, yes.
Disclose who the lawyer is.
Mr. Pilgrim is my...
Did she say who he is?
Yeah, Mr. Andrew Pilgrim.
Oh yeah, but can she? Oh, okay. So was he doing it for free?
No, I tried to pay to get the letters done, and then I guess he would have given me a total of what the case would have cost. But obviously, I haven't replied back to me to say anything in that situation.
Because he's not a cheap attorney. He's not a cheap attorney at all.
So, Ms. Verna, let her know which you wanted letters be written to whom.
I'm
not hearing her. Okay, she's cutting in and out.
Police complaint center, the commissioner, the attorney general. They're in their institute.
Because you said to me that you had this statement and you want to...
Statements are disregarded. I was to know I can't get the statement.
She's breaking up. She has to put her...
Yeah. It's the bus passing, sorry.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, okay. I had tried to get my statements and I can't get a copy of the statements or anything, so Mr. John Pinder. Mr. John Pinder had contacted the officer down there and asked him to kindly assist me. I even went to the station on 2 occasions, and every time I go there, he's never there.
Who's John Pinder? Is a cop?
No, he's actually he's the one who actually Miss Veronica, and I would recommend anybody. And I would apologize for one thing. Remember what I said about the police complaints? You won't get results. With Mr. John Pinder, he does a very fantastic job when he comes to writing up complaints. But it's just that the individuals do not go through with it. Because he does his part. When people come to him, he writes up the complaints. But the other people that are employed to do what they're supposed to do, they don't do it, Miss Veronica.
Okay.
And I would recommend anybody to go to him. He's at Home Affairs, the Ages building in Wilde.
Okay.
The district, this is not the first time I had a problem with him. And the officer at the given time, I think he was a station sergeant at the time my house burned. We go way back with problems because I remember about 13 years ago, I went to work at a gas station, Benton's gas station. I haven't even done a whole week. And then I was accused for carrying away money from the gas station. And he come and pick me up a morning. So me and my boyfriend was walking. He goes, Eurlanda, yeah, come get here. Come get this by here. Come go to get the police station. I didn't hear about this gas station when you thief. And I was like, it has struck me, Mr. Griffith. Yeah, and I went to the station. They held me there for 8 o'clock in the morning after 8 the night. And when I leave from there, my boyfriend had orders for me to get released. Funny thing, my boyfriend had to pay $1,300 at the station. My case was tried and thrown out at the District E police station. I remember that like yesterday because I was under so much scrutiny. I know I literally had an operation and I was in so much pain. And then like the effing and button, like they would do this and do that to me. The young lady was Michelle that they stripped me to check me to see if I had anything on me. It was the young lady, she police officers, Michelle. I can remember her like no. And I was really, really uncomfortable because the stitches in my stomach didn't even heal then. And I had problems with District E from there. And I think that if you as a professional is doing the job, you should never let your personal feelings get in the way of anything. And I don't think that they handle my case in a professional manner. It's right incompetent of him how he handled my case. And I mean, I've been to Horton Court 5 days after my house was burned. And Miss Eiffel, before I could even start to talk, rock back in the chair with her hands full and smile and lets me know, as far as I could see, this is going to be ruled out as a bad investigation. Give me 5 days after my house burned is a bad investigation, and no investigation was carried out. It made me feel as though that, everybody was spoken to before I get there. And this is another thing that really, really puzzled me. How a compulsive gambler and a drinker can find $3,000 to pay a magistrate court forthwith. Honestly and truly, there have to be a paymaster behind this. And I would like them to really do a thoroughly investigation and get down to the bottom of this. Seriously.
Is he older than you or younger, your brother?
My brothers are younger than me. My nephew is younger than me. They're all younger than me.
Oh. So the only abuse was him threatening you. There was no other abuse than that.
He broke up my house on numerous occasions. I remember one time my boyfriend's daughter was inside the car trap for hours. And when the police come then to rescue me, and he started to talk to the police, he ran the police with a cutlass, running left and jeeps. I do hear easy people feel on, so he's not easy.
So I'm asking you, since he's that violent, it was not. He's never attacked you in other than violence. He's never really. Has he ever done anything else to you? I mean that that can last for a lifetime. It happens in a lot of homes in Barbados. Has he ever abused you in any other way other than than what you're telling me here?
No.
Okay.
And I believe truly he of all brothers should never, ever, ever treat me this way. When he was younger, his friends had given him what you would call a blackie to smoke. And he was so sick. He didn't even want to bathe. He never even come with the barrel. He had no nerves, nothing. And I had to take it on myself and beg for a lift and take him to the Morris Bay Polyclinic to seek help for him. He was actually going crazy. He shouldn't do these things to me. I used to wash, cook, do anything for him. He could pick up the phone and call me any hour of night or 4 in the morning and for a lift where he done get gamble and get bread. And I would get into that same set car and go and pick him up for either Spice Town or at Trimark Corner and bring him home. He should have never do what he did to me.
But everyone there knows that it's the people that you help the most that turn on you. That's something that is really, really evident in Barbados society.
Before you forget, right? she mentioned something very important in the conversation before. She said the day of the incident, when the alleged thing happened, there were witnesses, right?
Yeah, there were witnesses. And he took my mother to Miss Eastman, a stranger, to keep my mother. He take her suit of clothes and her medication and tell her, who is she for me, man? I get back here, wait till police come. So he knew what he did. He had like totally given up. I know him and I know his mentality. When he knew that he burned my house, his mentality was like, I give up. Just hold mom here. Let me go ahead and deal with the police. That's how he operated.
There's two things, Mr. Renica, because I don't want to go too long. There were two very important things. The witnesses, did they witness anything pertaining to what he did?
Yes.
And then what happened? Did they go to the police or what happened?
The girl come back this morning when it happened. She was there and he got screaming and yelling and she was turning and said, boy, he real wicked. I see everything. I sit down right here and I see everything that our baking do. I watch everything and she was talking and the police there. There was the police officer there and that was to know she never even turned around and take a statement from her. On 2 occasions, I remember that police went to Miss Cumberbatch to see if they get a statement. She said she ain't talking because she live in a house, but she said she's an old woman.
Veronica, just bear with me a second when she said so. When the woman said she's not talking, right? I could tell you from experience, the police I would have spoken to her. I will talk about that in some other attendance.
Okay.
I know what she meant by that.
But I believe it is unfair for her not to speak for me either because I tapped her house one morning and wake she up from sleeping because I see this big black smoke coming over her house. And she jumped up, she tell me, yeah, she fall asleep with some potatoes in the oven and they start to burn. And I don't think that as a neighbor she should do that to me.
It may not be her fault, Miss Veronica. It may not, but I believe everything Miss King is saying. She has provided me for another document.
Mm-hmm. Right.
She's letters. But what were the witnesses' name? Because I want you to repeat it. So Mr. Williams, the Commissioner or Williams.
Come back, she was one of the witnesses, Juan Graves and Cordia Gill.
Okay, there's one more other thing, Miss Veronica, before we think.
Okay.
The flow.
Yes, Flo. I had paid for 1 more month so that I could recap the video. And Flo tell me that my internet was on a static. So there's no way that I could retrieve it nor anything. So they didn't help me to put back on the service from that day so that I could retrieve anything.
So guys, in the comment section when you're commenting, what you just mentioned there, would there have been any way that she could have retrieved the video? That's the question I'm bringing to the public.
Okay.
I'm going to say something too. That same in Iran, my father died up there in 1980, December 1980, 4 years later, right? And nobody witnessed for him. This is something I realized. I had a shop in Iran. I used to work for myself. But because that, when you don't join hands and join forces and do things that people want you to do, I realized you become the public enemy. I had a shop. The guys would want to come there. Who's selling weed?
Illegal.
Who selling illegal substance want to sell the illegal substance? And I decided for myself, if that everybody gonna want to come and set up in front of my business doing these kind of things, I shut it down and let it down with the business. By the time I shut it down, everybody fall out of business, and I become like an enemy to everybody. It's not that people they don't speak to me because even during the pandemic at different times, some of them people come at my house and sit down in my gallery and eat with me, drink with me, come at my house and borrow stuff from me, take things from us. And know that this happened to me, everybody bad talking to me, say the worst thing with me and refusing to talk to me.
Ms. Veronica, she also said, right?
Uh-huh.
She is even afraid to go back to where, because I even yesterday I was said to her, well, I was going to go back where it happened. And she and her boyfriend said no, because he's really ignorant. The gentleman is very ignorant.
Right.
How could you have someone the magistrate knows about when Clark knows about, the police knows about. He's been doing certain things when he was a child. It's done to the court, but yet still the court system, the court, the police never put their foot down in arresting this gentleman for whatever things he allegedly had done.
It's put up for you for February the 15th, and you turn up in court last year, 2023. You turned up in court October the 3rd that same year, and you can tell the magistrate that you didn't get the summons, but you didn't come to court on the date that you were supposed to come, and know that you is the accused. Why was it that you was free to go back home? Your lawyer just come in, show a sign. Mr. Jamal Bourne come in, bow his head, show a sign, and he get to walk over there. I want to know if a government running this country or the lodge running this country.
So you know what she's talking about, right?
Yes, yes.
But I remember talking about Mr. Wayne Clark. That's Mr. Wayne Clark, right?
Yes.
I remember talking about Mr. Wayne Clark when this young man with his parents had this child they were waiting for. And when the remand came out, he said he could not believe that the magistrate was not reading from the law, but from the lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Was not giving the verdict from the law, but from the lodge. The same
Right.
Mr. Wayne Clark. So I understand what she's talking about.
Right. So
One more thing.
Eurlanda.
One more thing, Miss Veronica.
Go ahead.
No, one more thing.
Okay.
You said, right? You said when there was no prosecutor, and that's very important to mention. There was no prosecutor. There was a warrant out for him for 8 months. And because he had a restraining order, but because he had a lawyer, he was allowed to go, Miss Veronica. That should have never happened. If the prosecutor was not there, he should have been sent up to prison immediately, Miss Veronica.
Mm-hmm.
He should have never been released. Never. Due to the fact he knew he was supposed to have come to court and he refused to come. He said so.
Mm-hmm.
And then the prosecutor wasn't there, made it even worse. How could a magistrate, Mr. Wayne Clark, give an order for a gentleman to be released without the prosecutor being there? I want the people in the comment section to educate me about that.
Okay. So, Eurlanda, you had a fundraiser. How did that last one go?
Come on, girl. Come on, girl.
I'm not hearing you well. You're breaking up. I'm not hearing you well.
It didn't come off because I didn't even earn $500.
Oh.
It never come off.
So do you plan to have another one? Are you planning on having another one? Okay. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you planning on having another fundraiser anytime soon?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. It's not working in Barbados.
Okay.
It's not working here.
Okay.
Miss Veronica, now I am on board. I am fully on board, Miss Veronica. I will tell you why I'm on board. So, Mr. Andrew Pilgrim, you don't bother to call her. Miss Benedict will help her out. Mr. Roy Boris, don't bother to brief the Prime Minister. I will send things to retire the commissioner, and I will send things privately to the Prime Minister. Miss King will get justice. And that's the continuous lawlessness of the system with the police and the magistrate. Because she said, I gave the retired commissioner quite a few interesting documents that she sent to me, right? And this is the police and the magistrates continue protecting people. It's who you know in Barbados, and that it is so wrong. And I spoke to Miss King for an hour, and I said to her, I believed you. When I listened to her, and when she mentioned, and you said a police officer tell you, there was this particular police officer that tell you that has. No, I want you to tell the audience what he said, and we will think.
It was told privately that it was alleged that some money they passed in the station when my brother was held. The paymaster went with the lawyer, and some money was passed.
So what does your brother do for a living that he will have that sort of money?
My brother don't have that kind of money. He don't have that kind of education or knowledge to know to got that kind of money, because he does work in the devotion program in the government. But my nephew, who is the original paymaster, that has a business, he become enfranchised with the waterworks and company. He has that Fabian King, known as Little Fabian's Trucking. He is the original paymaster. He the paymaster on everything.
Okay. So what? So okay. So people don't shell out money for and get nothing back. What is he getting back in return?
That was the same thing the magistrate said. Somebody holding a secret for somebody, and they could see murder going on in this case.
But as she said so, Miss Veronica, let her tell you one more thing. You remember, or do you want to speak about it? Let her speak about it. What the gentleman, when he came home at night, what he told her, Miss Veronica, and we ended it there.
Okay.
Early morning, shortly after 6 o'clock, my brother, can't remember what it was. It could be about 2 or 3 years ago. My brother come wake up me, open up.
What's his name?
Ivor King, you play Ivor King. But my house and tell me you will never believe this here. Then I went out with some friend, my Jamaican friend. She minded there, and another girlfriend of hers there, and another friend that thing was there. And he accused me because she tomorrow, I say, man, not me. Me and man getting a little altercation. And then to my surprise, no call. Then bring me home in a taxi. To my surprise, the woman called me and tell me, man, dead yet. I can't believe that. I had somebody around George. I can't believe that.
You just heard what happened. You just heard that, right? What, Miss Veronica?
So what's the man's name?
I don't know the man name. It's actually the case called because a friend of his had called me mistakenly, thought it was him, was his account, but it was my number. Jesse called me and told me that they're looking for him to come to court. I don't know if they ever find him or what, because the guy said he's not answering his phone.
You mean your same brother?
Yeah.
Oh, but Mr. Retired Commissioner look into that. And you don't have idea who the guy is?
I don't know what the guy is. Actually, his girlfriend get put up on remand for meeting one of the persons, what's called it, one of the people that sit on the jury, for trying to run bribes on them. She get put on remand for running bribes.
You don't know her name?
No.
How long would it happen?
It happened last month.
My friends have got Google that.
When did it happen? When did it happen?
Last month.
I'm not hearing you, but you're breaking up.
Early last month.
Okay. So whose girlfriend was sent on remand? Ivor's girlfriend?
No, the girl that her boyfriend died.
Oh, I see.
And for trying to bribe the jury.
Oh, I see. So let me ask another question. The fight that happened, it was your brother and her boyfriend that fought?
Yeah.
And then the guy so the only person who have been in that equation would be your brother. Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to say so, but I don't know. It looks so.
Okay.
So all we have to do, Miss Veronica, is to find out who's that person that went up last month, and the retired commissioner could send someone to question her.
Right.
So she would give the name of her deceased boyfriend.
And he's Jamaican, you said, right?
Yeah. And
so if you can go back in the paper, or if you can remember anything, you could always update me. Like 3 years ago, you say sometimes those things may show up in the paper. So
that's the guy that called me, let me say and tell me. I will have to ask him.
Yeah, please.
Very important. But he needs to be picked up, Miss Veronica, because she says she can't even go back there anymore.
Right.
She can't go back.
I don't even want to have a house on that spot right now. Right.
Yeah. So he needs to be picked up, Miss Veronica.
Okay.
He needs to be picked up.
Okay. I'm working. Wow. Okay.
And due to the fact that Flo is telling her, that what he told her now. So Mr. Roy Morris and Mr. Andrew Pilgrim, I've taken over Miss King's matter. I will do my investigations because there's much more evidence, and that's very important. Her speaking to you, Miss Veronica, or she sharing information or documents with you.
Right.
Right? And the people know and saying, well, they're skeptical. But I receiving the documents, I getting documents from Miss King, says it a lot. And I hope Miss King do not let anybody, because I know people out in the woodworks would call you and say, oh, don't speak to Miss Benedict, please, I beg you. I am the only person that's willing to help you.
Right.
Right? Because if they don't try to help, if they're not helpful, if now they're trying to call you, it means they want to keep it, make it keep quiet.
Exactly.
Okay? So that's it, Miss Veronica.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time. I don't know if Miss King had anything.
Do you have anything else to say, Eurlanda?
No, I think that's all for now.
All right. Anytime you want to come on, I think we have already established that anytime you want to come on, hey, I'm here. You can come on.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. This is Sherry Veronica, Naked Departure Radio.
Help me spread